Evening all, evening all, evening all. Evening all, evening all, evening all, evening all. Good evening. Evening everyone. Evening, thanks for coming in the room. G, Christina, thanks for coming in the room. Evening everyone. Good evening, Facebook people. Good evening everybody. And it's Friday evening. Let me put the brightener up a little bit. Okay, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about leadership. Like, what is it you are doing to... Hey, Cheryl Lewis, thanks for coming in the room. Appreciate you. Swipe and invite as you come in. Swipe and invite as you come in. Just bear with me. I just need to change the setting a little bit. But I wanted to talk about leadership today, about your leadership. About, hey, hello, Cheryl Lewis. Cheryl Lewis. Thanks for coming in the room, Cheryl. I was just trying to figure out if I knew you personally. But I don't think so. All right, so thanks for coming in the room, yeah? So what are you doing about your leadership skill and ability? What are you doing specifically? Is it on your radar? Welcome. Is it on your radar? Okay? Is it on your agenda? Oh, my kids must have just come in. Yeah, I just got in. So is it on your radar? Are you paying attention to it? Yes, it is on your radar. Okay, yes, it is on the radar. I like that. Loud and clear. Yes, it is on my radar. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to give you some steps to build your leadership, some things that you can do towards building it. They are having a good time. Yeah, that's the kids. They just came in. But yes. So if you're working a job, if you're not working a job, if you're working your business, right? Got pen and paper. Okay, we're getting ready to write. We're getting ready to write. We're getting ready to write. Okay, one of the things that you want to do is recognize that you have potential, yeah? You have potential. What does that mean? That means that you have a seed, right? You have a seed inside of you, right? That hasn't yet grown to its full maturity. But it's there, it's present, okay? And all it needs is some air. All it needs is oxygen. All it needs is some watering. All it needs is some sunlight, yeah? It needs some truth, yeah? Give it some water, give it some sunlight, and it'll begin to grow. So in other words, you got to be in the right type of environment, yeah? And if you're a true leader, no matter what the environment is, yeah, you have an ability to make it right for you. You have an ability to make it right for you. You have an ability to make a decision, yeah? Because of the mindset that you carry, you have a mindset, right? About your life and about the vision for your life. So you don't wait for people. That's a part of your leadership. You're not even waiting for people to suggest to you what you should do. You already have it in you. You already know what's the next step, right? You might not know everything, but you know enough to say, you know what? Right, I see things are about to change. I don't know if you guys have read that book about Who Moved My Cheese, yeah? Who Moved My Cheese? And me and my husband was just talking about that, I think yesterday. Like one of the places that he worked at, the company folded this year. It folded, yeah. And so they invited us to, like the party, like the leaving party. I call it leaving do, right? They invited us to the leaving do, yeah. So we went, and one of the ladies, right, said to me, "Oh, I just didn't know that, it was going to happen this way." And I said to her, "Yes, you did." I said, "We've been known that. That's why my husband had to plan out his exit. We already knew that." And she was just looking at me like she didn't know. I was like, "No, you're in denial. We knew that. That's why he done left." You can't wait until the situation forces you to leave, right? You have to have vision enough to see what's going to go ahead of you, and you got to plan your exit out. You can't wait for man to tell you, especially when funds is running low and you got a situation going on. You got kids, you got a family to raise. People's depending on you. You can't allow other people to be in control of your life. So you got to take responsibility to recognize you have a seed of potential in you, and it's up to you to water it, right? Nobody's going to do it, right? It's up to you to put yourself in the right environment, okay? So I'm not writing points. I'm just like freestyling right now, to be honest. So, if we're gonna go by points, first thing is that you want to do is recognize that you've got potential. You've got potential, and your mindset is to begin to maximize it. Maximize on your potential, right? And then what you want to do is begin to make decisions for you. Decisions that's going to benefit you and your family. Thanks for sharing, yeah? Decisions that's going to benefit you and your family, right? Okay. I can't remember what the third thing was. I was just freestyling. But anyway, okay? So those are the things that you want to do. Now, leaders, they grow themselves, okay? They grow themselves. They're not waiting for people to feed them, right? They don't know, they will seek out somebody who knows, right? So they're not going to just sit down in their pain. They're going to find a way out, right? Number one, maximize potential. Thank you so much, Sharon Lewis. 2, make decisions to benefit the family. Thank you very much. Like I said, yeah, I'm just freestyling right now, okay? So if I don't get all my points, if I don't get them all in a row, just know it's because I'm just freestyling, okay? I just got in real late today and I'm just on a free flow, okay? So leaders, they grow themselves, right? So I really want to encourage you, if you're in a job or if you're not in a job, thank you. Appreciate it. Or if you're not in a job, begin to assess your skills, your abilities, your knowledge base, right? And your passions and your desires, and mix them all up in a pot. Just mix them up all in a pot. Do a spidergram, jot them all down, and begin to see where that's going to take you. Yeah, you want to do a brainstorm session with yourself. You want to break those things down so that you can get clarity. Yeah, clarity is not in the waiting. Right? It's not in the waiting. A lot of times we want to wait. Yeah, we want to wait for the answer to come. We want to wait for God to just drop it, give it to us, and we can just run with it. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't even happen that way. Sometimes it just happens as you continue to make mistakes, and you might be saying, well, that's a waste of time, right? Well, you're not really wasting time. You're walking out the process. This is part of the process. Just embrace it. Yeah. Because sometimes we can get very impatient. And when we skip parts of the process, you won't even be able to teach somebody the process because you didn't even go through it. So, God is in control. You haven't lost a whole bunch of time, right? You're just at that season where you're just brainstorming it and getting to understand a little bit about you, and that's okay, right? So, leaders grow them. So, hey, Roxanne, thanks for coming in the room. Appreciate you, yeah? So, leaders grow themselves, right? So, go through the process of the growing, right? Go through the process of actually feeding yourself to grow. Okay. So as a leader, you would have the ability to discern what's good food and what's not good food, what's good drink and what's not good drink. Okay. You have that ability to discern. Why? Because we already said you have a knowledge base, you have a foundation, you know what's good and you know what's evil. So you're able to discern. Discern is not always spiritual, yeah? My mouth is dry. Having discernment, yeah, is not always spiritual, yeah? Discernment, you also get discernment from experiences, right? You make a bad move, you made a mistake, you lost some money, or whatever the case is, and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to do that again. So you gain the level of knowledge. That's discernment. You gain some wisdom, right? You gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That feeds your ability to discern whether you should do this or whether you should not do something, right? So yes. So when you're a leader, you're able to discern where to go for food, whether it's spiritual food or natural food, right? You have that ability. And so I really want to encourage you guys, right? You guys as leaders, and to begin to discern wherever you're at right now. We've been talking about being stuck. So wherever you're at right now, begin to discern how to get unstuck. And as a leader, what can you do? Because you can do some things, yeah? There's some things that you can do. You can feed yourself. You can make sure you're drinking pure water. and not contaminated water that's only going to further poison you, or it's going to pull you back. Okay, so I'm sure you got mentors, leaders in your life that you can actually go to and seek for some advice and some counsel and some things, right? And then of course you got the pure word, right? You got Jesus in your camp, and you know, as long as you got Jesus in your camp, you can't go wrong. It's just making time to spend. You're making that time to spend with him. Yeah. You can go wrong if he's in your relationship and you're not listening and you're not spending time with him. So you want to make sure that you're listening to him, and that you're spending time with him, okay? And that you're getting your instructions so that you can move on. All right? Okay. And yeah, so okay, number 3, self-assessment, analysis. Yes, feed yourself to gain wisdom for improving. Exactly. So if you are on a job, if you have a job, one of the things that you should be looking at doing is make an assessment of what have you gained in that job so far, and what else, because you know, otherwise you're gonna get bored. You get bored and you get stuck, right? So if you're already in your job and maybe you're a little discontented in your job, and but you know, you got to be there for a season. Maybe got to show you, okay, in the next 2 years I'm going to move you on, or you're going to move on to do an entrepreneur stuff, or whatever the case is. While you're there in the waiting, there's some things that you can do that's going to benefit your destiny, that's going to benefit the call that you have in your life. So while you're there, you want to tap into the training. Whatever training they got available, have a meeting with your supervisor, have a meeting with your manager, have a meeting with the training person, and begin to ask them for training that you want to do that's going to align with your vision. Yeah. And I always teach people too as well. As soon as you get a job, as soon as you're in a job, you should be automatically looking for the next job. Right? Looking for the next job. Yeah. When I say looking for the next job, not looking to move out, but you should be looking for an ad, right? If you look for an ad and you say, oh my God, okay, this is what, so that way you get the qualifications and the eligibility criteria for the next level, right? You're not waiting till, 2, 3, 4, 5 years passes and then you're trying to figure out how to negotiate your next career move. No. As soon as you land a job, that should be one of the first things you do is update your resume. And then, of course, you want to get a job ad so that you can begin to say, okay, this is what they're looking for. They're actually looking for 5 years management experience, okay? They want 5 years. So therefore, and especially if you've done research across the board, if pretty much the standard is 5 years, then guess what? You're in that job for what? 5 years. Unless the Lord leads you, moves you on, of course. 1 minute. Who's there? You. Can you give me a bottle of water? My mouth is dry, please. Thank you. So that's what you want to do. Update that resume and begin to strategically map out how you're gonna finish strong. Yeah. So once you get that job, every piece of the criteria, you begin to say, okay, I need training in this area. If it's software, thank you. Do me a favor, just open it really quickly. Isaiah, just open it for me, please. No, just open the bottle. Open the bottle. Okay. People can see your hand. What happened to your hand? I gotta put this down, guys. 1 minute. Your coach called me. You better talk to Dad. Excuse me.
Was he very polite, or am I have to pick him up?
No, they're just saying that tomorrow you got a game in Boston, but you need to talk to Dad. So yes, so you want to plan that move out, map it out on paper, right? And then talk to your manager, supervisor for the training. Make sure you get that. Make sure you get that training down. I mean, seriously, make sure you're a beast. You get, they invest in you as much as possible. Get it, right? because it's always for where you're going. You might not be stopping there for a long time. You never know when the Lord will just release you from that job. I'm telling you, you never know. They say 5 years for you to move on, but a door might open within 18 months. A door could open. Within 18 months, a door can open, yeah? And you just better be ready. Even in my own job, I go to the library, get me a book and study, right? I do it on my job. And I actually, encourage my staff to do the same thing, right? I empower them to get out of that job, right? And they always say to me, like right now, they're on my case because they're saying, Mercy, the moment you leave, we're leaving. Seek enrichment for little or no cost. Current job setting. There we go. Exactly. That's exactly what you want to do. Exactly. Because all of that's actually going to build. Always look for the next opportunity too as well, because you don't know where God's going to open them doors. But seeing as you're in that career move, God is going to use it for your calling, for your career. Right? When I look back on the various different positions I've had, yeah, it all, and I've only been out of, so I've only been out of social services, human services only one time, right? I stay in it. Only one time. Since the age of 17, I've been in it. Youth worker, residential case worker, social worker, child protection issues, housing, asylum refugees. I mean, now I'm running the program. I run a welfare to work program. That's what I do. Right. So, and one of the reasons why, and I actually chose to do, let me talk about the job now. Yeah. Let me talk about the job now. Right. Creator 90, thanks for coming in. Yeah. Let me tell you about the job. Yeah. I've only been in this Massachusetts for about 6 years. Yeah. So when I talk about start from the bottom, and now we're here. Yeah. Came here 6 years ago, right? The place we were staying at caught on fire, so we was homeless, lived in a shelter for 1 whole year, yeah? Okay. God didn't even let us out of that shelter. I was depressed like I didn't know what. We was working jobs. Nobody would actually rent to us. Why? Because it was 2010, I think, 2010, when they had that serious, what do you call it, begin with R, when you have a recession. So a lot of people was very dubious about people working because they felt like they were going to get laid off. Hey, Creator 90, thanks for coming in the room. And so they thought people was going to get laid off from their jobs. So they didn't trust jobs. What they trusted was Section 8. What they trusted was housing voucher. And we didn't have one. So they didn't really trust us. So we was left in that situation. But at that situation, I learned a few things. So that's why when you go through a negative situation, yeah, always be studying for what am I supposed to get. So I learned a lot about the people in the area. Like I said, we didn't know this place from Adam. Talk about come somewhere and start fresh. I mean, I didn't even know where we was. We didn't know where we was, right? So we came to a place, and I found out very quickly where I live. The demographics is predominantly Puerto Rican, right? And actually, to be honest, I really didn't even know. No, who's that? No drinks tonight. Is that you, Roxanne, having a wine? So, what was I saying? So the people in my area, hey, Shirley, yeah, no, you have, no, not me. Roxanne said, you're trying to get me into trouble. Shirley, that's you and your wine on a Friday night. That's not even me, that's Shirley, that's you. Yeah, you know this, Shirley, you know my story. So where I live, right, is predominantly Puerto Rican, and I really didn't even know Puerto Rican people, so it was a real lesson for me because in London, we don't have that community there, and so anyway, I found myself living here, and the people are very discouraged, disappointed, very what can I say? Those are not the right words, but anyway, they've lost hope. There's a lot of hopelessness here. There's a lot of hopelessness. And so one of the things is, as soon as we came here, we got jobs. Me and my husband got jobs. Even though it was in that situation, like I said, nobody wanted to rent to us because of that situation. But what it did is it allowed me to stay in an environment and get to know people. And so I quickly felt like, you know what? And everyone thought we was different too. I was like, how are we different? I mean, like, you're in a bad situation, like, get out, right? But a lot of people are very discouraged and they had a lot of trouble even thinking about getting up and getting themselves a job. So when I realized that people had a hard time getting a job and people thought it was strange that me and my husband didn't know anyone. I mean, didn't know anyone. I mean, like, didn't know anyone. No neighbors, no friends. We didn't come here because we knew somebody, yeah? But yet we was able to get out and get jobs and all the rest of it. So then I started to really have a passion for helping people to get jobs. Like, how are we going to help these children, these people get out their situation? They need an income. Like, how is this going to happen? But before they could even get an income, they were dealing with such heaviness that it was like, in their minds, it was like virtually impossible, right? In their thinking. And so, so anyway, I strategically just positioned myself. In fact, the Lord told me, oh God, I just feel like I'm going into stories. I've always got a story to tell. Excuse me. I was working in the schools and my contract was about to end. And I said, Lord, what's my next place? And previous to that, a year before, he told me I was going to work at this organization that I work for right now. And I said, I'm not working there. I'm not doing that. And what I knew about the organization is, oh my God, I bet my staff is going to come on here on Facebook. Anyway, so what I knew about the organization is that they work with people with disabilities. And you know when you feel sometimes you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do that. It's almost like when you're like, I don't want to work with babies no more. I don't want to work with children no more. I don't want to work with the elderly. It's kind of one of those things, yeah? So that's what it was. And then the Lord said to me, that's it. So I applied and I didn't get a job. And I said, Aaron, I didn't get a job. Like, I don't know, but God told me to do it. Right. Anyway, my contract ended. Guess what? The post was up again. And I said, oh my goodness. God said, apply. Applied, got an interview straight away. Was it in the parking lot? I said, Lord, I'm not going in there, yeah? And this is a job I so wanted. I really wanted this job, yeah? Because I like doing group work and I like the transformation of working with women. And I was in the parking lot and I said, I'm not coming out this car. I told the Lord, I'm not coming out this car. Why? Because I don't like the pay structure right now. And I know that I'm worth more than that. And I kill it when I get in there. So I'm not going in there. That's what I told the Lord. The Lord said, just go. So I went in there, killed the interview. There's 5 managers. Interviewed by a panel of 5 people. Every single one of them was a manager for a whole different division. Every single one of them wanted me, yeah? And I'm not just saying this is not air. This is stuff that they themselves, as a management team, always tell people. Like, when they introduce me, they tell them this whole story about how we had to fight over mercy, da-da-da-da. Anyway, I got what I wanted, right? In terms of pay. And then I think I got promoted like 3 times in that position. I got promoted like 3 times. Yeah, I got promoted like 3 times. Moved up to this is the 3rd position that I've had in that agency. So now I run the program. And I don't just run the program. That program has beasted it out like they've never seen it before. Like never seen it before. I mean, like seriously never seen it before. We're number 1 in the state. And my staff is on the winning team. So anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. I'm just like freestyling. So I know I said that for a reason and I got off point. What are you doing to grow your leadership? So what I'll say is this, is that everything that I've been doing has been built to grow my leadership. Yeah. And it's the same thing for you. Wherever you're at, it's all going towards building your spiritual repertoire. Okay? Let's say that again. Everything that you're walking out and experiencing is going towards your spiritual repertoire, right? You got a natural repertoire, which is your skills and your experiences, but you also got a spiritual one, right? And so that's your ministry. And we don't know what it entails of, but God knows. That's why you just got to be led by the Holy Ghost and allow him to do it. You just got to allow him to take over, right? Sometimes we don't really think about God being in our business in terms of our employment or our career. But we think about it in terms of our spiritual career, what we do at church and our volunteerism and, what we do outside in the community, but we don't think of it in terms of our career and our jobs in the marketplace. But I just want to encourage you to allow God to use you in those places. And so, let me go to my notes. Oh yeah, so be hungry as a lifelong learner. You ought to be very hungry. I heard a story recently. I don't know if I said this to you guys already before, but last year September, a trainer told me she was a high flying PA, and she was in her 50s. She was about 53, 54, and she got laid off. And she told me, she said, "Mercy, let me tell you something, yeah." She said, "Do a reading speeding course," right? She said, "Do a speed reading course, because when you get laid off, at 50, nobody wants you. Nobody wants you, right? They're not going to rehire you. So what you need to do is build your skill base and just beast it out. Get whatever knowledge in whatever field you need to become an expert in. Go ahead and do that." And the speed reading is so that you can consume a lot of information all at one time. You can consume it, okay? Especially if you're busy and you don't have that time, you can consume it so that you can, position yourself, right? So that's a tip. That's a nice tip. And of course, utilize any training that they're offering on your job, okay? So I don't know how long I've been talking for, but I hope that supports you about your leadership ability and just growing in your leadership and the things that you can do to maneuver and to build your spiritual repertoire and your natural repertoire. All right. So I hope that helps you in building your career so that if anything happens, if it happens or when it happens, but just in case, you won't be the person talking about who moved my cheese. And that's for those who's read the book, Who Moved My Cheese. When changes start happening, you won't be crying about it and being depressed, right? Because a lot of people get depressed when it's beyond their control. But if you take control early on in the game, you will not be disappointed and you will not be displeased. You'll just be like, hallelujah. Because, you'd realize it's all part of the plan, right? You won't be upset because you already had all your ducks. Everything was already set up in the row for you, all right, for your success. So I don't know if you guys had any questions, if there was anything that you want to ask me or anything like that. Anything that you wanted to say. Christina, we had our first session today. And I noticed that you was feeling good about that through the emails that you was going back and forth on. Sorry, Facebook people, I was late. You'll have to catch it on Periscope. Yes, I was very pleased. Well, awesome. Yes, I'm very excited to be working with you. I'm really, really excited. And what was so fun, it was the mission. How much you are very mission orientated. You're led by a vision, a strong vision. A Dr. Martin Luther King, a Mother Teresa. So you have those qualities. That was really interesting. Okie dokie. No questions. I shall come off here and get ready for that person that is kind of scared. She said, "Are they stalking me?" She's like, "Were they stalking me?" No, they weren't stalking you. No, it's kind of scary still. But no. It's interesting how they had you to the T, though. That's interesting. But see, what's interesting now is that I went with another consultant, and he's a white middle-aged male, and he said to me, he said, you know what, Marcy, it's very interesting because white males, they don't play when it comes to that. White males don't play when it comes to that. Okay. He like he said to me, he said, listen, they use that as a resource. They don't play, right? But it's only when other people, other groups of people are able to use it. This was his opinion. He felt like it leveled the playing field because that was a tool that actually gave him a lot of insight so that they can make a proper assessment about their skills and who they are so they can kill the game. So that's a tool and a resource that certain people are privy to using. All right. So yeah, I loved it too as well. But yeah, I don't know if you guys had anything else that you want to say, that you had to talk about, or anything like that. No, everyone's doing good. Everyone's doing great. Okay, everyone's doing good. So all hearts is clear. I'm going to sign out and say good night. Yes, it was a long day because it's Friday. So you're enjoying the weekend. The weekend starts now. Yep. It's been a long day for me too. I just recently got in myself. So, I'm going to get ready to chill out and go at it tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Appreciate you all for coming in. Take care. God bless. Bye. Enjoy this girl. It was a bit quiet, but that because I'm tired. That's all right. That's okay. All right. Well, listen, God bless. And you know I don't do my morning scopes on the weekends. So my the powwows are Monday to Friday. And then I come through in the evenings. Okay? So God bless and take care. Have a great weekend, you too. God bless. All right, take care. See you later, Christina. All right, good night. Bye-bye. Bye, Aaron.